All right, welcome to the QB School. I'm JT O'Sullivan. Today, got a great one. We're going to talk cadence, double counts, hard counts. How do they do it? What's so good about it? What teams do it the best? And what's the actual kind of how it happens? What's the process in the huddle at the line of scrimmage? So really excited about this video. A couple of other great questions. Let's dive into it. Welcome to the QB School. All right, first question, Miguel Cortez. Can you show examples or explain, we're going to explain, what makes a great hard count or cadence? Appreciate the videos. Thank you for your time. Hope to hear back from you. So Miguel, appreciate the question. There's actually one other question I saw really tethered to this one, so I'm going to bring that one up too, just so we can see it. From Bernardo, hey JT, I have a question. How do snap counts work and who calls them? Does the QB communicate in the huddle, or does it depend on the play or game situation? I see a lot of QBs trying to draw the defenses off sides by doing a fake count, but how do these offenses know when they should actually move? Then Paul responded, appreciate Paul's engagement with the channel. I can't tell you about the NFL, but when I was in high school, the coach, when I was a coach and play with the adult amateurs, the offensive line can tell when the defense feels this. You can feel when they're going to get jumpy. I agree with that too. Basically, it's all of those things. So we'll start kind of at the base level, and then we'll work all the way up to what I think are the best cadences in the league. So oftentimes, lower levels of football, you'll get the quarterback just calls the play in the huddle. Most offenses will have a few variations of snap count. Go on one, go on two. You'll see silent counts where people go on the clap or on the hand movement, or the guard will look back, excuse me, at the quarterback. There's variations, but most offenses have one base core kind of cadence. And so it really started, in my understanding of it, is way back in football, you would do it to be able to audible in the play. So oftentimes, especially at the higher levels, you'll hear color number, and then set hut. So for example, I always like things that rhyme. I used to always use white 90 because that's what I remember the Niners using when I was growing up, or green 18 or blue 22, things that kind of roll together, have a little rhythm to them. So green 18, set hut, that type of thing. So those are the core cadences. I think the question of how you get those people to jump off sides is usually either the offensive line will say, hey man, I'm getting killed here. This guy knows our snap count. Can we mix it up? So you'll be able to do that in the huddle where the quarterback and the offensive line and the quarterback and the offense can just change the cadence to go on one or go on two or go on three or whatever the variation is. I think the thing that you're thinking of and the thing that people usually have the most questions about are kind of the cadences that seem like they go on and could be anything in the NFL, and teams use them on third down all the time. I always think of the Packers, Brett Favre, and now Aaron Rodgers. They use the same cadence that they did when I was there. It's called just the double count, double cadence, or double on the double cadence. And so all that is we can have the first cadence is going to mean nothing. So it'd be green 18, said hot, 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 hot. And then you start a second cadence, and that second cadence is always on one. So it'd be like white 90 said hot, 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 hot. White 90 said hot. And that's it. So it seems like it's this real exotic, crazy cadence when really it's just a dummy cadence, the first one, and then the second one is on a number that everybody knows. So those are the ones that I think are great. That's how you get that free play where the defense will jump and you see guys run down the field and Aaron throws up a jump ball, those type of things. Those are all dummy counts or dummy cadences or on a double count. So I love that count. Those plays help me a lot in my career. It's a great, easy way to take advantage of mixing up the snap count, not let defensive linemen or defenses tee up on your snap count. So great question. Thank you guys. Next question, John Hawken. Question for you, JT. I don't know if this is inappropriate, but as a former player, do you think medical treatment involving marijuana should be allowed in the NFL? Thanks for the answer, by the way. John, not inappropriate. I think it's important for fans, for people who love football, to ask these type of questions, especially of athletes, but really just get us thinking in general as a society at a little bit higher level. To me, the NFL street drug policy has always been a bit of a CYOA, cover your ass type of kind of policy. And what I mean by that is you always knew when you were going to get tested for street drugs. They could test you from the start of the calendar year for the league, which I think is like March, all the way through camp. You're going to get tested one time if you weren't in the program. So once you got tested on that, you could do whatever you wanted street drug wise. Now they could test you anytime for PEDs or performance enhancing drugs. But if you weren't in the drug program, and then you're on a whole different level that I don't know anything about, but if you were interested in that type of marijuana usage, all you had to do was basically shut it down from whatever the time period is before that. And once you got tested, you knew you wouldn't get tested again until that time. Now, the other part about it is the NFL is just lagging, like many sports institutions, as far as the turn that society is on with these drugs. To me, if it's legal in your state, it seems pretty simple that it should be legal at your job or occupation. If you live and work in that state, we have to pay taxes as NFL players, as citizens, that you should be privileged to the same rules. Especially, I don't know the nuance. I'm not a medical doctor, only a philosophical doctor. And so I don't know about the medical benefits of it, but I sure seems like society is on a shift where these type of things are becoming more and more prevalent, more and more tolerated. So to think that it should be illegal or kind of hush-hush in the league just doesn't make sense with where society is going, in my opinion, especially anything that helps with any sort of stress, healing, physical healing, mental healing, all of those things I'm all in favor for. So thank you for the question. Last one here. John Smith, what is a stunt in defense? Ryan Johnson replied, John Smith, a blitz. So first up, Ryan, I disagree. A blitz is a blitz, and a stunt is something different. So a stunt to me, and don't make it seem like I'm the authority here in this regard, but just from playing almost a decade in the league, a stunt to me is a game, is often referred to as the defensive line. And it doesn't have to just be defensive line. It can be linebackers involved. It can be a blitz, but it doesn't have to be. So what I mean by that is if you have 4 defensive linemen, your ends and your 2 tackles on defense, and they twist, that's usually a stunt. So if the defensive tackle goes first on one side and the end comes underneath it, you'll often hear that referred to as a TE. Whatever is named first is the one who goes first, or an ET if you switched it, or a Teddy, or an Eddie, or whatever. I don't care what you call it. But those are stunts and games to me. Now, they can be tethered to a blitz, meaning we can involve a linebacker. If we get an ET and then a linebacker comes in the other gap, well, that's a blitz and a stunt. So it can be a combination of both. But if I'm thinking just a stunt, if we get double ET or double TE, those type of things, those are just stunts or games. So great question. Really appreciate it. All right, that's a wrap. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have other questions about a cadence, stunts, all those things. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a great one.